I'm Styleboy and welcome to Mod, and we are in a slightly more comfy position because we are discussing stuff that matters. And basically in today's video we are discussing what has been happening in the world in terms of racism. Let's begin. Firstly, it was the first outbreak of TikTok stars basically saying the N-word, basically being racist, using their platform to discriminate against black people. Why? What gives you that right to do that? I'm sorry, because you have a white privilege. Get out. That doesn't mean you can be racist. Being racist, it's idiotic, it's stupid, and you'll need to leave. More stuff happened. Then, what got shown around the news was the shooting of Ahmaud Arbery, which basically he was a man jogging. You had me right, jogging. And he got shot by 2 white men. Then, who got killed next? Breonna Taylor, a black woman. So, about Breonna Taylor, she was an innocent black woman who literally was fighting to save lives during this COVID pandemic. And basically, she got killed because the police thought that she was with someone who was already in custody. So they thought it was right to kill her. Like, that's not right. That's not right. No. Then the one that got really big recently was George Floyd, when the police officer decided to kill him with his knee. Then came the death of Tony McDade, a black trans man, because he got shot by a white police officer. And then came the news of, particularly, I want to discuss this one in particular because I think this one has a lot of points, which was this woman in the park had a dog not on a leash, and a black man simply asked, "Can you put your dog on a leash?" She's like, "No." Gets offended because guess what? Dogs on leashes is a law and some people are actually petrified of dogs. It's normal. And decided to call the police saying that a black man is threatening her life. So I wanted to start off with just saying that none of this is acceptable. None of the things that are happening, so racism, shooting, killing, is acceptable. None of it is. Black lives matter, and generally they do. I just don't get it because they're humans. Black people are humans. White people are humans. Why do black people and white people get different treatment, but they're just humans? Like, I don't get it. Again, it's because of white privilege and white supremacy, especially President Trump, what he wrote. Oh, we're gonna get to that also. What I also wanted to talk about was that last one with the woman and the dog. Basically, that's using her white privilege as a weapon because she couldn't do what she wanted to do, which is then stupid because that's acting like a spoiled child, like a baby. Why? Just why? And then villainizing a black man because she exactly knows what the consequences would be. So I didn't actually explain this fully. So the way she villainized the black man was by phoning the police and saying, "This African American man is threatening my life." So that's what she says in the video. And with that, she villainizes him, portraying him as a bad guy when all she had to do was just listen to what he was saying, which is simply, "Can you put your dog on a leash?" A. B, we all know the consequence of that is like arrest or murder. Police brutality, we've seen it happen. So obviously she knows the consequences. And again, all she had to do was just listen to him. That's it. Is that really that difficult to do? What happens if the man was white? Would you do the same thing? Would you really call up and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, there's a white man threatening my life"? I don't think that would have been the case. And I also wanted to add that the consequence would have been different with that. We all know that the arrest would have been like a proper arrest, not leading to a potential murder. And the way that it would have been done, would that be much more fairer than if it would have been for a black man? And this is down to stereotyping and racial bias. And then what happened in Minneapolis, which is where George Floyd was killed, was that people protested. So it's not like protesters have been new. We've seen protests. So they actually first started off with being peaceful. They just started off by raising signs and talking. And then guess what? The police decided to throw gas at them. So what do you expect? What do you expect when the police act violent? What do you expect? Do you expect them to be like, "Okay, we're still gonna be chill"? Like, no, we're gonna fight back. However, we've also seen white people protest for a completely different reason. Let's go into this COVID thingy. Who was protesting against lockdown laws? Who was the ones who were throwing up signs like, "Massages are essential, I need my haircut"? Which also, I want to get into this, is like, it comes from such a degree of privilege to have a sign saying a massage is essential, because guess what? It fucking isn't. A massage is not essential in life. What is essential is food and a house and love and care and respect and equality and water and you are healthy, not that your back is clicked into the right place. If you are saying that they are protesting and they are allowed to protest within their own right, not having tear gas thrown at them and nothing like that, yet people fighting for a man's life and justice are having tear gas thrown at them because he was black and because it was police brutality. What makes it real worse was Donald Trump's tweet, basically enforcing the white supremacy, but doubling it even more by saying that white people are shooting stars and black people are thugs. Let's get one thing straight. You basically stereotyped a group of people, but also it's not like devil's advocates. I'm like, one rule for you and another rule for them. Like, no, that's not how it actually works. I'm like, we're all humans, and it's like, it's so stupid because none of it makes sense. It is horrible that we do live in a society where this happens. People are saying like, this has been shown through a camera. What happens if it didn't? It would have just been ignored, which is then even worse. It should be everyone coming together and everyone should have the same rules and the same respect and the same care. I don't understand because it's like, this isn't rocket science. It's common knowledge to treat people with kindness and respect. It's common knowledge to listen to people when they have something to say. It's common knowledge. We have come so far in our society. Why are we still dealing with racism? Why? Why are still people not using their voice to talk about racism, to talk about the killings, to talk about the hatred that is here? Why? And the thing is, what makes it even worse, I'm also talking to my black friends about how it's affecting them. And it's so sad to hear the feelings that are coming out from this. It's basically that it's fear, sadness, anxiety, panic attacks, rage, anger, being overwhelmed, being hurt. To even like hear that, that is so heartbreaking because we shouldn't be living in a world where a black person could potentially be killed simply for jogging, for getting water, for breathing. We shouldn't. We shouldn't be living in a world like this, and it's so sad that we do live in a world like this. And I want to do what I can to help. So what I'm going to put in the description is petitions, donations. If you can donate, do it. Definitely sign the petitions and share the message, like especially if you can, do it. My friend also talked about racial biases, which I thought was a really interesting conversation, and I think definitely will be brought up into another video. Believe me, the thing I want to end with this is like, firstly, if you're black, your feelings are valid. It's okay to feel angry, scared, hurt, but you want to do something. Like if you have anxiety, if you are generally sad and scared of what's gonna happen, it's completely okay. Your feelings are valid. You are valid as a human being. Because guess what? Black lives matter. To all the people who are saying, all lives matter, let me explain to you. Firstly, saying that statement comes from a degree of privilege. And let me explain to you what privilege is. Privilege does not mean you have not been through struggle and that you have lived life luxury. We all know that's not the case. It means that you have something and a privilege about you compared to everyone else. Let me give you an example. So let's do me. I am a autistic gay man. I don't have a privilege compared to straight men. I do not have a privilege compared to people who are neurotypical and don't have autism. However, I have a privilege being a man. I have a privilege being a white man. I have a privilege being a cisgendered man. So I have privileges like that. For my privilege, I'm like, compared to black people go through so much oppression, so much disruption, police brutality, racism, cultural appropriation, and so much that I will explain in later videos. And the thing is, for you saying all lives matter, you are ignoring the fact that black people are going through this. That's why Black Lives Matter. And we should help black people feel valid. We should use our voices and use our privilege to help raise awareness for what's happening. We should raise black people's voices and we should move with them, not go against them. People are saying online, it's not only the responsibility of black people to talk about this, it's everyone's responsibility, because guess what? Black rights are human rights. And believe me, what I wanted to also say is that this is not gonna end. This conversation about racism and about prejudice isn't going to end. We need to continue having these conversations even after this. It's again human rights. We need to listen to black people. We need to listen to the struggles they go through. We need to listen to everyone. We need to treat people with kindness and respect and not try and attack people because they disagree with our views. No, listen to what they're saying. Understand what they're saying. Don't just block it out because it's not what you want to hear. And also have these discussions with people on social media and out of social media. We need to have these discussions, and this conversation needs to be continued in all aspects. I really hope this helps. I want to use my voice for good. I guess I'll see you guys soon. Cheers, adios, goodbye people, goodbye.